Okay, so hope everyone is doing good. So, little bit Saturday effect, weekend effect. Okay, Nana. So let's jump on. What did we discuss in our last class? Services, no? Ready for shootout? Hmm? If we are able to answer these shootouts, for interviews, it will be very easy. And for certifications also. So for that reason, please try to answer all the questions that I was asking. Okay. Okay. So which is a service where you can go and create virtual machines? What is the full form of EC2? Elastic Compute Cloud or Cloud Compute? Compute Cloud. Very good. And can you define what is EC2? Can you define EC2 service? What is the definition of EC2 service? It's a service from AWS where you can launch EC2 instances. You missed, huh? Online. So where you can launch EC2 instances. So do you all agree in AWS, the services are either regional or global? So this EC2 is regional or global? EC2 is regional. Okay. And what is load balancer? Which distribute the traffic? Yes, to the multiple EC2 instances. Okay, across availability. Okay, what is this load balancer called in AWS? Elastic load balancer. What is that? Elastic load balancer, which distribute the traffic to the multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. Chitti, this load balancer is completely managed by AWS. Do we need to worry about the performance, scalability, high availability for the load balancer? The answer is no, not required. Load balancer is a service, a server. It's a service. Okay. And a load balancer is a service, not a server. Is it possible to log into the load balancer or access the load balancer? Access the load using DNS name. Using what? DNS name. Very good. So can you launch your EC2 instances in multiple availability zones? 1A, 1B, 1MC. Your load balancer can distribute the traffic across availability zones? Yes. So, and which is a service is used for easy and quick deployment of applications? Elastic Beanstalk. So do you all agree Elastic Beanstalk is like a platform as a service? It's a platform as a service. In general, in platform as a service, what are we responsible for? Application and then data. Application and data. Do we need to worry about the servers? Do we have control on the servers? Nothing. But whereas in Elastic Beanstalk, what is the backbone of Beanstalk? Backbone of Beanstalk is EC2. The backbone of Beanstalk is EC2. So whenever you give the application to the Beanstalk, Beanstalk will launch EC2 instances behind. So do we have control on the servers? We have the control on the servers, but is it recommended to control? No. Who will be controlling? Beanstalk will be controlling for it. Okay, Chitti. So which is a service in AWS where everything is readily available and installed? You just need to go and use it. Which one? Lightsail. So what is the big disadvantage of Lightsail? No auto scaling. Fantastic. If I give an application to you, you need to deploy in AWS. What are the two services that you have in your mind? EC2 and Elastic Beanstalk. Very good. EC2 and Elastic Beanstalk. Nice. Okay. Which is a service is used for automation? Lambda. So Lambda is server-based or serverless? Serverless. Fantastic. And what do we create in Lambda? Functions. What do we create? Function. What functions are those? Lambda functions. Okay. Can you run the code without the server here? Yes, you can run the code without the server. Cool. And let's say Ritik. So yesterday what he did, Ritik launched an EC2 instance, but it is getting terminated because of the Lambda function. So which is your favorite scripting language for Lambda? Python. Okay. So I want to stop all the EC2 instances in the midnight and start early morning. So using the event bridge, right? Using the event bridge, you can create a rule and schedule it, and you can call the Lambda functions. Where are all the events are stored? Event bridge. So whichever the event that you are interested in, you just pick up that event and then invoke the Lambda functions. Lambda is regional global. Beanstalk is regional global. Lightsail is regional global. EC2 is regional global. Macha, fantastic. Okay, very good. So please keep it up. You have to listen like this only. Okay. So new today. Oh, online, huh? Okay. Good, sir. Good to see you here. You will come offline? You want to see me? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, Nana. So let's move on to today's topic. Online, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. So my online people want to see me, huh? Okay. Huh? Okay, fine. So let us jump on to today's few services, Anna. I'll give the same old scenario example. Looks like you're also, I saw somewhere. Online, huh? There. Okay, good. Do you remember in your childhood days? I don't remember. Okay, let's say I don't believe your childhood days, but at least in my childhood days, both are same. Okay. If possible, please share the video. Video of whom? Mine, huh? Of course. Sorry. Okay. No. Listen. Okay. Okay. Will you able to see Big Boss? No, right? You can hear Big Boss. You cannot see Big Boss. Huh? Okay, I was joking, guys. Okay. Good to laugh. Okay. Good to put a smile symbol whenever you feel laugh. Okay. Whenever you smile. Okay. So I still remember in my college days, I was doing a project in computers and we don't have generally, do you remember where we used to store the data in starting days? Huh? Some people says pen drives. That meaning you have born from that time. Some people say CDs. You have born at that time because you know the CDs. But we little bit before. So, do you remember floppy? I mean, this many floppy. Floppy disk. Do you remember floppy? No, huh? Okay, so you're all young blood. So floppies will be, it will just very small, few inches, black color. Yeah. So floppy. Do you remember how much size the floppy is? How much? 2 MB. So I still remember, as I said, in my college days, I used to write the Word documents and put the project. So I used to carry the bunch of floppies to show my project. Because in one floppy, how much size, how much data you can put? 2 MB. If you take your phone and put selfie, that selfie itself is 5 MB nowadays. Remember that, right? So in the floppies, it was 2 MB. Just imagine, just not a Word small document will be done inside. So I used to collect a bunch of floppies to show I still remember I put one floppy inside it and I'll show to the ma'am. And second floppy, ma'am. Third floppy, like this we used to put it. So, but this floppy was sufficient to put your data? No. So how many have seen floppies here? So we are all, huh? Okay. Let's come to the next generation. After floppies, what we got? Now you people are there, huh? CDs. Do you remember the size of the CD? How much? Not in hands. Tell me size. 700 MB. So many CDs you have used, huh? So I'm just saying, no. What is that? Okay. So those who connect, they get the, huh? Okay. Nice. So CDs, Nana. So CD 700 MB. So this CDs is sufficient? No. Again, what we got? DVDs. Do you remember? DVDs. What is the size of the DVC? Abba. What Macha? What is your name? I'll remember you. Funny, huh? Okay, 4.7 GB. So do you remember 3 movies in 1 DVD? We used to get it for 10 rupees rent, right? Right? DVDs. Those are DVDs. Even that 4 GB is sufficient now? No. After that, what we got? Now, you know this pen drive? What is the size of the pen drive maximum? 128 GB. But this 128 GB is also sufficient. Again, what we got here? Hard disk, external disk. What is the maximum? 2 terabyte. So you see the evolution here from floppies to CDs, CDs to DVDs, pen drives, and hard disk. So you need to have more space. You need to have a more space. So each and see, floppies, it's not sufficient. CD is not sufficient. DVD is not sufficient, right? And similarly, hard disk, even 2 terabyte is not sufficient. Let's say, for example, you and your personal friend went for a long trip. Easily, you will get 2 terabytes of photos. Okay, let's say you went with a couple of friends. Then, obviously, if you go for one trip, easily 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte data, you will get it and you put it in the hard disk. Now, tell me, this 2 terabyte is also sufficient for you? No, right? 2 terabyte is also not sufficient. And this, and let's say, many people, what they do is, they take all the photos and they put it in the external hard disk thinking that that is a backup. Yes or no? Just in case that hard disk pusuk that fell down, what will happen? Data is gone? Data is gone. Just in case virus came in, data got corrupted, all your data is gone. And this, it's not a safe, it's not secure, and the 2 TB is also not sufficient. So what is the problem here is everyone need to have more space. And it should be secure. And it should be available anytime. For that reason, AWS came up with a service called S3. What is that? S3. Simple Storage Service. Say that, Nana. This is a certification question. What is the full form of S3? Now you will say like this clearly, but in certification, you know how they will ask? What is the full form of S3? Option A or option number 1, simple storage service. Option number 2, simple service storage. Option number 3, service storage simple. Simple storage service, option number 1. So like this, clearly they will confuse you. Yes or no? So I'll tell you one small hint. So in AWS, all maximum services will start with simple and with service. Remember that. Whatever we are learning is simple or not. So everything is simple. So start with simple and end with service. What service is this? Storage service. So simple storage service. So you will forget now? Never. Right? Oh, no, that is flow, he said. I understand his feeling. Okay. Okay. So you will never forget. So what is the full form of S3 now? Simple storage service. Okay. Let me give one more example. There is a service for notification, Nana. Now form the service name. Simple notification service. What is the shortcut? SNS. SNS is a service to send the notification. There is a service which is used to send emails. Simple email service. What is the full shortcut? SCS. SES, SNS. Okay, so S3, simple storage service. So everything will start with simple and end with service. So here in AWS, all services will start with simple and end with service. So like for example, SNS. What is the full form of SNSCT? Simple notification service. So like this, what is the full form of SES? Simple email service. So like this, you should be able to answer it. Huh? SES, simple email service. So yeah, it's messaging service, Satya. So there is also one more service. There are so many services, but as Satya said, I'm putting this SQS, simple queue service. What is that? It is related to a developer's topic, which is related for messaging queues and all. So what is the full form? But you concentrate on full form. Simple queue service. Because in certification, sometimes if you are very lucky, they will ask these questions. What is the full form of SNS, SES, SQS and all? Right? Understood? No? Okay. Now come back to S3. What is the full form of S3? Simple storage service. Simple storage service. So floppy CDs, not queen service. Come here. It's not simple. It's queen service. It is queue service. No one is providing queens nowadays. No. So floppies, CDs, DVDs, pen drives, hard disks, all these things have a problem with the storage. But here, AWS saw all these problems and he introduced a service called S3. And this S3 is unlimited storage. This S3 is unlimited storage. So no problem. How much data you can put it? You can put it. S3 is unlimited storage. Now, S3 is limited storage or unlimited storage? Unlimited storage. Similarly, like in Google, do you know Google Drive? You know the Google Drive, no? Yeah. So, 1 second. Okay. So, you know the Google Drive, and that Google Drive, what we do with the Google Drive, Nana? We store the data. We just simply store the data. Is it possible to execute any data there? You put a .NET files, Python files, Java files. Can you execute anything here? What is that? Is just the storage. No, you just put the data. That's it. And then access it, retrieve the data. That's it. You don't do anything. That is from Google. From AWS, it is S3. S3 also, it is just a storage. What you can do is you can just upload all kind of. Do you have any restriction that this file cannot be uploaded? No. Any file you can upload it in S3. So S3, what do we do with S3? S3 is used to just store the files. Is it possible to execute any files inside it? No. So here, S3 is used to just store the files. Files meaning any type of file. So any type of file meaning you can also say S3 can store all flat files. What files? Flat files meaning any files. Flat file means here any files. And what do we do with this S3? With S3, we can upload, download, and access the files. Yeah, iCloud is related to your Apple iOS. Ramaraju. Okay, now can you execute any files in S3? No. You cannot execute any files in S3. Okay, now question for you. Is it possible to install operating system in S3? Is it possible to install database in S3? Is it possible to run, execute .NET files, Python files in S3? Nothing. It's just a storage. It's just a storage. So Google Drive. Google Drive is serverless or server-based? Server-based or serverless? I'll tell you the difference between serverless and server-based. Server-based meaning where you are logging into the machine. Google Drive, are you logging to any machine? Then that is a service, no, for us. So now you tell me it's a serverless or server-based. S3 is also? Very good. S3 is serverless. As it is serverless, do you need to worry about the Google Drive's performance? Do you need to worry about the high availability of Google Drive? Do you need to worry about the scalability, elasticity of Google Drive? Similarly, do you worry about all these things in S3? No, it's completely managed by AWS. So AWS handles high availability, performance, scalability, etc. for S3. Who handles AWS? Handles. You're getting Nana online? Is it clear till here, everyone? CC, please. Credentials to access. Here also we have, but it's not a machine, no. In the backend, they might have machines. Nana, serverless meaning for us it is serverless. But in general, in the backend, they have the servers. But we don't log into those machines. You have credentials, Google credentials. No, that is just to access credentials to access the Google Drive. So it is not a server login. That is different. Okay, so let's say, for example, here, let's say, assume I have so many movies with me. Okay. Funny, he asked, sir, you have so many movies. No, give me that movie, sir. Okay. So I gave that movies to him. What he do? He put it in his laptop or not? Yes. His laptop is Windows machine or not? His laptop is a Windows machine. And if I give him all the movies, what he'll do? He'll create folders inside it or not? Tollywood movies, Hollywood movies, Kollywood movies, right? Like this, you have separate movies. Okay. So he will create a folders, and inside this, what he'll put? He'll put the files. And can you tell me one name of the file? Can you tell me one movie name? Bahubali. Dot MP4 sum. Understood? So like this you have. That is in his laptop. But let's see how he will put it in S3. In S3 also we need to create a folder, no? In S3 also we need to create a folder. But we should not call it as folder. We should call it as bucket. What we call? Bucket meaning not that bucket. Bucket. We call it as here bucket. What does the bucket contains? Files. Instead of files, you should call it as object. Instead of files, you call it as objects. And this is the name of the file, no? Name of the file, we call it as key. Name of the file, we call it as key. Now tell me here, what is a bucket? Can we say bucket is a container of objects? Now you should not call it files, you should call it as object. So what is a bucket? Bucket is a container of objects. So what is an object? Object is a file. Object is a file. What is the name of the file? Key. Understood now, right? So I'll write in here. Bucket is a container of objects. Okay. What is an object? Object is a file. What is the name of the file called? Name of the object is a key. Chitty, understood? Is it clear? And by the way, S3 is global. S3 is global. S3 is global. EC2 is regional. EC2 is regional. Whereas this S3 is global. But what do we create in S3? Buckets. Louder. What do we create in S3? Buckets. We need to create buckets. Those buckets you can create it in any region. S3 is a global, but buckets are regional. Certification questions. S3 is global, buckets are regional. So buckets are regional. Very good. So you can create the buckets in Mumbai, you can create the buckets in Ireland, you can create the buckets in Hyderabad, you can create any region you can create, but S3 itself is completely a global service. Okay, another wonderful thing is, do you know what is static website? Static website. Static website. What is static website? Static website meaning where the content is constant, it will not change. Like company websites, Wikipedia. You know Wikipedia? In Wikipedia, all the content will be same or it will be changing every day? It will be constant. No, it is static. No, like this, like articles are there, blogs are there. All these are all what? These are all static. So if we have any website where the content is not changed, that is called static website. Mostly, have you heard about HTML? Right? All your static files will be in your HTML only. Okay, now let's say I have when we go deeper into S3 Harsha, there we'll talk. So let's say, for example, I have a I have a static website with me. What is? I have a static. Let's say company website is there. Now tell me, which are the services that you have in your mind to host this website? One is EC2, or go with the Beanstalk. If you go to EC2, you need to launch EC2, you need to deploy, you need to configure, you need to maintain, you need to secure everything you need to do. For a static website, remember, S3 supports static websites. It's very damn simple. What you need to do is just create a bucket, upload all your files, enable static website hosting. S3 will give the URL to you. That is a website. Understood? So, if remember, in any certification question, any interview questions, anything related to static website, which service will you go and deploy? S3, because S3 support static website. As it is serverless, do you need to worry about the performance, scalability, everything? Nothing. It's completely managed by S3. So isn't it good to have your static website in S3 or EC2? So here S3 support static website hosting. So what you need to do is simply create a bucket, upload all your HTML files, and enable static website hosting. That's it. So no need to worry about high availability, performance, scalability, etc. Because who handles it? Because S3 handles it. S3 meaning AWS. Is it clear now? Online, is this clear? CC, please. Offline is clear for you? Huh? Fantastic. Now, I want you to concentrate a lot because it's a very important topic. Okay? Especially online. Offline, anyways, you are in front of me. Online people. So I feel like there are so many people, what they do is online, especially, aram se they will lie on the bed, on their stomach, putting their legs up, hands under the cheeks, and then they will be listening in the phone, not also in the laptop, right? So this is not a good way of listening it. Please try to understand. So don't worry, I'll show you to take the screenshot. Don't worry. So I want you to concentrate, sit properly, sit properly, online. You. Kucho, sariga kuchund. Right? Sit properly. Papas, girls, you also. Nana. Okay? Close the door, lock the door. Okay? Nice. So very important. So let's talk about this topic here called EBS. What's that? No, that I said. You should not call elastic beanstalk. I said, no, elastic beanstalk should not call it EBS because the actual topic of EBS is this. Elastic block storage. What's that? Very, very, very important. Okay. So before this, see here. In S3, there is one point left. S3, what are we uploading in S3? I'm not calling Siri S3. This my phone is ringing. Okay. So what are we uploading in S3? Objects, no? So what based storage is this? Object based storage. What based storage is this? Object based. This is Pakka certification question. S3 is object based storage. Pakka certification question, guys. S3 is object based storage. S3 is object based. Okay, now coming to the EBS. EBS is what based storage? Block based storage. EBS is what based storage? Block based storage. Let's talk about what is EBS now. So before that, I'll write it here. EBS is what based storage? EBS is block based storage. Certification question. So, no, I'll tell you one real time thing here. So here, what I did, I went and launched one EC2 instance. Which one? This is the EC2 instance. Okay. For your laptop, you have a hard disk. So tell me, your laptop will also come with the hard disk, no? Your laptop will come with the hard disk. Without hard disk, your laptop will work. What is there in your hard disk? In C drive? What is there in your C drive? OS, no? What is there in your C drive? OS. So you have a laptop with already a hard disk with it. That hard disk is nothing but C drive inside it. And what is there in that C drive? OS. OS meaning operating system. Did I tell you a joke about OS? No. Okay. So that's okay. Should I tell or not? Huh? Okay. In my college days, that was in my college days, we are all sitting and all of my friend is saying, Mama, OS is coming. Mama, OS is coming. I was thinking OS meaning operating system. No, how is coming? So after 5 minutes, he said, Mama, see, OS is there. I was confused. OS, what is OS? Then he said, Mama, see, in the first bench, her name is OS. OS. And he said, OS meaning Ontari Sunita. That's a surname of her. So that's a full form. Okay. So anyways, so I don't think so if she's here in the class, I don't know. Because, in one of the batch, one of my classmates, when we were doing degree, he was also in that batch, in the same batch. I was teaching him. And after end of the course, he said, Are Mama Riaz, he said, how dare you? You calling me, you are a student, you call me Mama. Hey, Mama, me, Re, Shekhar. He was like, fortunately, some people will be there in the class because online people, there are now it is only 110, 100 people, right? So I used to have 200, 250 people also, right? Good. Okay. Okay. Come back. Okay. Nice. Okay, Nana. So EBS, what is the full form of EBS? Elastic block storage. So as we are talking about the hard disk, Nana, from now onwards, we should not call it as hard disk. The hard disk is now called it as volume. What is that? What is that? Volume. What volume? EBS volume. What volume? EBS volume. Okay. See, in S3, is it possible to install operating system? Is it possible to run any files? Nothing, no. But in EBS, S3 is a object-based storage. EBS is a block-based storage. EBS is a block-based storage. In block-based storage, meaning you can do anything you want because it's a hard disk. Can you install? Can you run? Can you execute? Everything you can do. That is why it is called as block storage. So whenever you launch the EC2, how many steps are there to launch EC2 instance? Very good. Online people, how many? 7. How many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7 are there. See, whenever you're launching the EC2 instance, listen this carefully. When you're launching the EC2 instance, what is volume? Hard disk. What is the volume? Hard disk. Whenever you launch the EC2 instance, automatically one volume will come with it. Obviously, no. When you're purchasing a laptop, you also have a hard disk, no? Here also, when you're launching the EC2 instance, automatically one default volume will come. And that default volume, we call it as root volume. What volume? What does the root volume contain? OS. What does the root volume contain? OS. What does the root volume contain here? OS. Because obviously, whenever you launch a EC2 instance, it should come with the operating system, no? Where is that operating system? Inside the root volume. Can we call that is a default volume? Yes. Whenever you're launching the EC2 instance, a default volume will come. What is that volume? Root volume. What is that volume? What does the root volume contain? OS. What does the root volume contain? OS. Now, Nana, tell me how many root volumes you can have per EC2 instance? You're thinking. How many operating systems that we have in your laptop? There you clearly said. Here, what does the root volume contains? OS, no? Then how many root volumes you can have per machine? Only one. Because how many operating systems you can have? Only one. But can you have D drive? In our laptops, can you have D drive, E drive? For EC2 instance also, we can have D drive. C drive is nothing but root volume. And D drive, E drive, F drive, or whatever the drive, the rest of the volumes, we call it as additional volume. What is that? So basically, there are two type of volumes, Nana. What are those? Root volume, additional volume. Say that. Additional volume. One more time. Root volume, additional volume. Understood? Which is the default volume? What does the root volume contain? How many root volumes you can have? How many additional volumes you can have? Super. Certification questions. Right? You're getting it? Very good, Nana. And see, this is called, so there is one volume already. By default, we get it here. So this is a volume. Okay. What is this volume? This is a root volume. This is a root volume. What does the root volume contain, Nana? Very good. And can I also have additional volume? So the root volume will come while launching the EC2 instance. It will come through it only. But if you need additional volumes, basically these volumes are coming from a centralized storage called EBS. What is that? EBS. What is EBS? Elastic block storage. No. So AWS has a centralized storage. How much ever you want, create it, volume, and then attach it. Create volume, attach it. Create volume, attach it. So what is the default volume that you get? Root volume. What is the default volume that you get? Root volume. If you need D drive, what we do? Create a volume, attach it. If you want E drive, create a volume, attach it. If you want F drive, create a volume, attach it. So volumes can be attached and volume, if required, can be detached. So the concept of volume is attach, detach, attach, detach. Whenever you want, attach it. Whenever you don't want, detach it. Understood? And these volumes are coming from centralized location. What is that? EBS. And that is why we call it as EBS volumes. That is why we call it as EBS volumes. You got this point? Right? We'll come, Shiv, we'll talk on that. Okay. So assume here we have, this is the EBS storage. Okay. Centralized storage is there. What is the centralized storage here? EBS. So what you do, if you want volume, create it and then attach this volume here. What volume is this? Excellent, excellent, excellent. This volume is online. What volume is this? Additional volume. What volume is this? Additional volume. What does the additional volume contain? Your data. Yes or no? No. In your laptop, all your data, you will put it in C drive or D drive. Why not C drive? Because OS. Because all the files will be used by the OS. If you put your own data there, your operating system will become slow. For that reason, we'll segregate to the D drive. Okay. So I call this as a C drive and I call this as a D drive. So what we do is this, we will attach it if required, or else we can detach it if required. So detach, attach. Clear enough? Everyone? So do you all agree? I'll start writing here. Volumes can be attached and detached. Volumes can be attached and detached. No, it's not primary, secondary. Volumes can be attached, volumes can be detached. Can you attach multiple volumes to the EC2 instance? Yes, you can attach multiple volumes to the EC2 instance. Very good. Okay. EC2 instance has a default volume. What is that volume called? Super. EC2 instance has default volume. That volume is called root volume. Well, root volume. Okay. What does the root volume contain? The root volume always has OS. OS meaning what type of OS? What type of operating system? Windows and yes, Linux, Windows. Okay. I got to remember one thing here when I say Windows and Linux. Yes, it offers both. So operating systems basically are many types are there, but mainly classified into two types. Client-side operating system, server-side operating system. What is that? Client-side, server-side. Now you tell me, this AWS in EC2, it support client-side, server-side. It support server-side. Client-side meaning you have your laptops, no? Windows 10, 11, right? All these things will come under client-side. Server-side meaning Windows Server 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Those are all like Red Hat for Linux. You know the operating system? Linux operating system. There are so many flavors are there. What are those? Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, Ubuntu, all these options, these are all server-based. So because as we are putting applications inside it, it need to host the application, no? EC2 instances. So is it good to be a client side or server side? Server side. So client side meaning the one which is accessing from our side, from our laptop, that is client side. So which one will support Nana here? Server side. So here we have Windows 10, 11, but here we have Windows Server 2021, 2022, 2023, like Red Hat, right? Ubuntu, Red Hat, etc. So it doesn't support this. I'm writing it here. EC2 supports only server side OS, not client side OS. You're getting Nana online slowly? If we have OS on the volume, what is that volume called? If we have OS on the volume, that volume is called what? Root volume. Simple. Whenever you see operating system on the volume, so that is definitely a root volume. EC2 instance can have how many root volumes? Yes, EC2 instances can have only one root volume. EC2 instance can have multiple additional volumes? Very good. EC2 instances can have multiple additional volumes. Super, Nana. Very good. Now the question here is, sir, how much is your size of your hard disk in your laptop? 1 TB, 500 GB. Here also, volume is nothing but hard disk, no? You know how much AWS is providing for you the maximum size? The maximum size of the volume is 16 terabyte. How much? Your C drive can be how much? 16 terabyte. Your D drive can be 16 terabyte. E drive can be 16. F drive can be 16. F के बाद क्या है? G. G drive can be 16. Like this, individually, individual volumes. What is the maximum volumes you can have? 16. What is the maximum size you can have? 16 terabyte. Is it mandatory to use 16 terabyte all the time? No. How much ever you want, you create it. D drive, you want 50 GB, create it. No problem. You want 500 GB, create it. You want 1 terabyte, create it. But like this, maximum, how much you can create? 16 terabyte. That's a maximum size. So, maximum size of the EBS volume is up to 16 terabyte. These are all certification questions that I'm writing. Okay. Let's say, for example, Nana, you need to pre-provision the volume. Pre-provision meaning how much ever you want, you need to create a volume. Yes or no? That is called pre-provisioning. What is that called? Let's say you have launched an EC2 instance. Nana. You have launched which EC2 instance? Let's say Windows EC2 instance. Which one? Windows. By default, you get the C drive. By default, you get the C drive. By default, AWS will give you 30 GB size. How much? What is the C drive size? 30 GB. For Linux, it gives 8 or 10 GB by default. How much? 8 or 10 GB. Say that. How much? Let me ask this question. What is the Windows EC2 instance root volume size, default root volume size? What is the Linux default root volume size? 8 or 10 GB. So that is the default. Can you increase it? That is cloud, no? You can. But in your physical machine, you cannot. As this is cloud, of course you can increase it. So, okay, let's say, for example, you need D drive. What you need to create the D drive, no? So there is an option called create volume option is there. Click on create volume, it will ask, Babu, how much size that you need? What is the maximum size? For example, give me the size that you want to create. 500 GB. So put 500 GB and volume get created. What is that called? Pre-provision. What is that? That means you need to give the size. Then only it will get created. So volumes should be pre-provisioned. Volume should be pre-provisioned. Like how much ever you want, like 50 GB, 100 GB. So right, like this maximum you can put how much? 16 terabyte. And by the way, I got one question in my mind. Should I ask you one interview question? Huh? Let's say you have added 500 GB D drive. You created a volume, added to the EC2, attached to the EC2 instance. How much size? 500 GB. And you have used only 100 GB inside it. You have used only 100 GB. Tell me, you need to pay for 100 GB or 500 GB? Which one? 100 or 500? 100 or 500? Okay, so many people having the mixed feelings. Huh? Should I give you a personal life example? There you will perfectly say, we will say right answer. Coming to technology, you will say wrong answer. Huh? Let's see. You went to the restaurant. Sir, epudu restaurant. What? I am a food lover. Huh? Okay. You went to restaurant and you ordered biryani. How much is full biryani? Family pack, how much? 500, for example. 500, example. Okay, 500. And you got your 500, that family pack, and you ate only half of it. You ate only half of it. How much will you pay? Why full of 500? 250, no? Huh? Here you are saying correctly 500 because you ordered 500. You ate only half. Is that guy is okay if you pay 250 rupees? Here in AWS, you have ordered how much volume size? 500. And you have used how much? 100 GB. So how much you have ordered? 500. So you need to pay for? Not 100. Clear? Example. Okay. So remember, if you want 100 GB, order 100 GB only. If you are not able to eat full family pack, order one single biryani. No. Understood? So like this, here, sir, initially said pay as use. Yes. You ordered 500 GB. That is your requirement. Whether you use inside this or how much you use doesn't matter to AWS. You have ordered 500 GB. I told you this. Does AWS has access inside your machine? How does AWS know that you're using 100 GB? AWS knows that only that 500 GB you have purchased, you have created from him. He will charge for 500 GB. It doesn't matter whether you use 100 or 400 or 250. It doesn't matter. Okay, nice. That's a okay, good one. Okay, so now another one. Nana, let me ask one more question. You have one volume. One volume can be attached to multiple EC2 instances at the same time. What is your answer? Yes or no? You're saying yes or no. Some people say maybe. Or some people say, sir, your wish. Okay, let's give you a personal life example again. You have your laptop. You have your hard disk. One hard disk can be attached to multiple laptops at the same time. How perfect you are saying no here. Same hard disk concept, volume. Laptop concept, EC2. One volume can be attached to multiple EC2 instances at the same time? No. Answer is no. Right? Understood? So you cannot attach a single volume to multiple EC2 instances at the same time. You cannot attach a volume to multiple EC2 instances at the same time. Nana, there is one change here in this, but when we go deeper into EC2 topic, there I'll talk about this. That's why I'm putting 2 stars here, because yeah, there is also one more topic on it. We'll talk there. Okay, another question. So how much is your Windows default volume size? 30 GB, no? That 30 GB sufficient? That 30 GB sufficient? No. So that meaning after 1 month, this 30 GB will be full. And what you need to do? You need to increase, no? You need to increase. Okay, there is 2 things here. Someone said additional volume. Either you can increase the C drive or you can have the additional volume. But here the problem is C drive is full. What is the purpose of adding the another additional volume? You need to increase the C drive, no? So now, if you want to increase the C drive, the very good thing in AWS is you can do it on fly. On fly meaning no downtime is required. No downtime is required. Do you need to stop the machine? No, that is the wonderful thing about the cloud. So guys, you have, let's say, assume you have one EC2 instance is there, which is customer is using, and the C drive is full, and customer is already logged in, and he said, Babu, C drive is full. And what do you say? Hey, customer, give me 1 minute. Come back to AWS console, go to the console, modify from 30 GB to put 300 GB, click apply, modify, submit. And ask customer, now check it. Oh, C drive is now increased to 30 to 300 on fly. Do I stop the AC machine? Do I need to have downtime? That is called on fly. On fly meaning no downtime. Do you need to stop the machine? Not required. So volume size can be increased on fly? Yes. Very good. Volume size can be increased on fly. That meaning no need to stop the EC2 instance, no downtime. Okay, there is another. Yeah, it's configurable. Other question. See, you are creating an additional volume. Chiti, you are creating a additional volume. You want to create 50 GB. How much you want to create? When you're creating 50 GB, Pusuku, you put one more zero. How much? Abba, got created. You want 50 GB, but by mistakenly you have put one more zero and then click on create. 500 GB got created. What will you do? Now, volume size can be increased, but volume size cannot be decreased. Volume size cannot be decreased. That is by AWS. How? It cannot be decreased. Just assume you have data inside it. Can you decrease it? Can you decrease it? So I'm Excel guy. Is it possible to have a large t-shirt for me? No. Right? So volume size can be increased. Volume size cannot be decreased. Sir, then what I do? What should I do? I don't want 500 GB. What do you need to do? Delete that and then recreate it properly with common sense. Okay. You cannot be, your body should present while doing work, no? If you're thinking about your girlfriend, I mean, for your friend, you're thinking about your friend, and instead of putting 50, if you put one more zero, manager will come. And then Kurchin, understood? So it is not good. What you need to do? You need to delete it and then recreate it. Let's say, sir, what happened if I have my data inside it? Copy the data, delete it, create a new volume, put the data. Okay, na? So volume size cannot be decreased. Volume size cannot be decreased. So this is all real time, Nana. Delete the volume and recreate it based on the requirement. Okay. Is it clear till here, everyone? Online? CC, please. Okay. Very important certification question I'm saying here. Now, see. Nana, you have your laptop. Let's say you have attached the pen drive. If you attach a pen drive, it will be mounted, no? To your laptop as a D drive, E drive, whichever it is. Yes or no? So the concept of these volumes are attach. Attach is nothing but mount. Attach, detach. So when you are attaching a root volume, what are the two types of volume we have? Root volume, addition volume. Now, whenever you are attaching a root volume, you need to give the name. You need to give the name. We call it as device name. What is it? Very important. Device names. Remember, for root volume, for root, the device name should be /dev/sda1. Say that. Right? /dev/sda1. Okay. Susha, Srikanth sir. Guys, online you have an announcement by Mr. Srikanth sir, your admin. Sir, over to you for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, good morning all. I'm audible. Can you please confirm in the chat box? Okay. Guys, I'm going to share the Google Classroom and Telegram group in the chat. Please join the Google Classroom for notes and Telegram group. Okay. So one important thing here, while clicking the joining the Google Classroom, only one account should be there in your device. It may be your mobile or your laptop. Only one account should be there. If you have multiple accounts, it will ask for the code and we are not able to give you the code. So before joining the Google Classroom, please sign out all the accounts and please keep only one email ID which you have shared us. Then only you will be able to join the Google Classroom. Guys, that's the Google Classroom link here. If you click on the link, it automatically take you to the Google Classroom. So before that, please sign out all the accounts. If you have multiple accounts, sign out all the multiple accounts, and you can join the Google Classroom. Sharada, is that clear? Yeah, I'm sharing. First, let everyone listen the message clearly, because daily I'm saying I'm giving you some information. Again, I'm getting the messages. Yes, daily link will be different. I'm sharing the link. Please join the classroom. I've clearly mentioned, please join the Google Classroom, and below that link is there. And please join the Telegram group. Riya sir, I'm audible to you?
So you're done?
Sir,
I
I'm
cannot hear
audible to
you.
you?
Please put the message.
Guys, one more time I'm repeating the message. Only one account should be there in the device. Only one email ID should be there. Download the Telegram here. Pallavi, you have to download the Telegram and you have to join the link. First, share the link. Copy the link and save, or else click on the hyperlink. You can directly open the page. You can save the link from there, okay?
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, guys. So we have still topic left. Please don't leave the class. Very important topic. Okay. So what did I say? Root volume always. What is the device name of the root volume? /dev/sda1. Say that. /dev/sda1. Remember, Nana, whenever volumes is all about attach and detach concept. Whenever you are attaching, anyways, root volume will be coming by default only. It's already attached. So just in case, if there is any requirement to detach the root volume, and if you want to attach it back, and the device name should be always /dev/sda1, because whenever you launch an EC2 instance, first it will check it has to boot it, no? It has to boot it from the operating system, correct? It has to load the operating system. So if you have so many volumes connected to the EC2 instance, how does the EC2 instance know which volume has operating system? For that reason, with the device name, EC2 instance will identify, oh, this is a device name /dev/sda1. For that reason, I need to go inside it. It has an operating system. Understood? So for that reason, root volume always is mounted with what? /dev/sda1. You should not change it. If you change it, it will not work. And whereas additional volume, apart from A1, you can put anything like /dev/sd. Don't put A1. A1 is reserved for root. You can put it at B, E, F, whatever the name that you can put it there. Okay. And for some like Ubuntu type operating systems, for Ubuntu, the device name would be /dev/xvda sometimes. But maximum 90% it will be /dev/sda1, but sometimes it will be xvda. What's that? Say that. What is the, yeah, I'm repeating again. See guys, listen this carefully online. So volume concept is all about attach and detach. So whenever you are attaching the root volume, by default, root volume will come by default. Yes or no? When you're launching the EC2 instance, root volume will come by default. It is already attached. But just in case in future, if you have a requirement to detach the root volume or attach it, so remember attaching the root volume, the device name should be always /dev/sda1. Why? Because let's assume EC2 instance has multiple volumes attached. Whenever you start the EC2 instance, how does the EC2 instance will know which volume has operating system so that it will boot? How does EC2 instance will identify? Using the device name. So EC2 instance will check where is my /dev/sda1. If the volume is attached to EC2 instance with that device name, EC2 instance will consider that volume as a root volume or it has an operating system. Okay, now? Good. So one important question, certification question I'm asking you. Listen this carefully and answer it. Is it possible to detach the root volume while EC2 is running? What is your answer online? Answer is no. What you need to do? Stop first. Terminate meaning fasak. Right? What you need to do? Stop the EC2 instance and then detach the root volume. Is it possible? Is it possible to take out the heart while the person is alive? No. So you need to give anesthesia and then do the operate. So here also, if what you need to, if you want to detach the root volume, first you need to stop the machine. Okay, another question here. Is it possible to detach additional volume while EC2 is running? Answer is yes, because that is not, it is a data, this a D drive, no? It's additional volume, no? Anytime you can go and detach, but it's recommended to do that. Assume someone is logged in inside the machine and D drive, they are putting some data, and in the backend you are going and plucking it off. He'll cry, no? Because the data will be lost in the backend. It will not be lost, integrity issues will come. So is it recommended? No. But can you do it? Yes. But can you do it on root volume? No. You need to stop the machine. These are two important certification questions. I'll write it for you. Decrease is also not possible. Is it possible to detach the root volume while EC2 is running? Answer is no. What you need to do? Stop the EC2 instance and then detach the root volume. Good. Next here. Is it possible to detach additional volume? Answer is yes. It is not recommended. What will you do? Recommended detaching while running. While running, first what you need to do? Stop. You need to stop. Okay, nice. So assume now you have the volume attached to the EC2 instance. Can you delete it? You have the volume attached to the EC2 instance. Can you delete it directly when it is in attached? No, what you need to do first? Detach. First stop, detach it. If you want to detach, you need to stop. First detach it and then delete it. So you cannot delete the volume while it is attached. What you need to do? Detach first and then delete. Okay. So very important thing I'm saying here. See, Nana. Okay. EC2 instance has availability zones. EC2 instance has availability zones. Yes, because EC2 instance will be launched inside the availability zones. Remember, volumes also has availability zones. And the certification question here is, the EC2 instance and volume should be in same availability zone or different availability zone? Same, no? What is availability zone meaning? Data center. Let's say you have launched one EC2 instance in 1A. The volume which is attached to EC2 instance should be also in 1A. Is it good to be in 1B? From 1B, can you attach? No, it is not at all possible. Your EC2 instance and volume should be in the same availability zone. Let's say I'm here and offline people, you are here. So we both should be inside the same room or not? And I'm sitting here, you are sitting in some other room. Is it possible? No. So we should be in the same availability zone. So remember, EC2 instance has availability zone. Volumes also have availability zone. And they both should be inside the same availability zone. EC2 instance and volume should be in same availability zone. No, data can be copied, but not, you cannot copy the machine, Sarath. By the way, this elastic block storage, EBS, is regional or global? Very good. It is regional because we are talking about EC2, no? As EC2 is regional, all the concept inside the EC2 are also regional. So guys, I'll put one small diagram. Tell me, is that possible or not? The real time. I have, what is this? EC2 instance. How many are there? Why 2? There is no space. Okay, so this is EC2. And this has what? What is this? Very good. You are able to understand everything now. This is 1A. This is in 1B. Chitty, now tell me, listen this carefully and tell me. Is it possible to... Okay. This volume also is in which availability zone? 1A. And this one? This one is in? Okay, now tell me, is it possible for me to detach this and attach it here? This is in here. Possible? Huh? Why? Different availability zone. Fantastic. So remember this question. 1A volume can be attached to 1B EC2 instance? No. 1B volume can be attached to 1A EC2 instance? No. 1A volume can be attached to 1A EC2 instance? Yes. 1B volume can be attached to what? 1B EC2 instance? Possible. Cross? Not possible. Remember that. So here I'll write for you. Okay. 1A volume cannot be attached to 1B EC2 instance and vice versa. Yes. Fantastic, Nana. I'll give you one more scenario here. Last scenario. Last scenario, guys. Listen this carefully. We have the EC2 instances. Listen this carefully. EC2, 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 EC2. And assume I have only one volume. How many volumes are there? This is the volume. How many volumes are there? One. Tell me, is it possible for me to attach this single volume to multiple EC2 instances at the same time? Huh? At the same time? Not possible. So, what if I need to have I need something where I need to have something called shared storage. What is that, Nana? What is that? So I have one data in one place, and that data has to be available in all the EC2 instances at the same time. Is it possible with the volumes? No, because each EC2 instance has its own volume. And from that volume, data can be shared to other volumes? No, the individual volumes. So what if I need to have a shared storage? What if I need to have a shared storage? That meaning I need to have one storage which has to be shared across all EC2 instances. What is that? We will see that in next class. Okay. So here we cannot attach 1A volume to 1B EC2 instance because it is in the different availability. So similarly, we can attach 1A volume to another 1A EC2 instance because it is in the same availability. Clear, Nana? Is it clear? All the concept? What is that shared concept, shared storage concept? We'll discuss in next class. Is it clear whatever we have learned today? Can you give me 2 minutes quickly? I'll recap. Okay, everyone online, please, online see here, please reply to my questions because shootout is very important. Okay, okay, now I have so many files, photos and everything. So which service do you suggest to upload? S3. What is the full form of S3? Simple storage service. Simple storage service. Okay. S3 is limited or unlimited? Oh, very good. Unlimited. In S3, we can upload, download, access the files. Yes or no? Is it possible to execute? Is it possible to install? Is it possible to run anything? No. What do we create in S3? Buckets. What do we create in S3? Bucket. What does the bucket contains? Object. What is the name of the object? Key. Very good. S3 is what based storage? Object based storage. S3 is server based or serverless? Serverless. No. Okay. And does S3 support static website hosting? S3 support static website hosting. Very good. Now, what is the full form of EBS? Elastic block storage. Elastic block storage. EBS is what based storage? Block based storage. What are the hard disks called? Volumes. How many types of volumes are there? 2 types. What are those? Root volume and then additional volume. So while launch, how many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? When you're launching the EC2 instance, which volume will come by default? Root volume. What does the root volume contain? OS. How many root volumes you can have per machine? 1. What are the rest of the volumes called? Additional volumes. The additional volumes, how many you can have? Multiple you can have. So in EC2 operating system, it supports client side or server side? Server side. Very good. What is the maximum size of the volume? When you launch Windows machine, what is the default size that you get? Linux, 8 or 10 GB. Volume sizes, should be pre-provisioned or not? It should be pre-provisioned. Is it possible to increase the volume size on fly? Yes. Do you need to stop the machine? No. Can you decrease the volume size? No, you cannot decrease it. If you want to decrease, what do you need to? Delete and then recreate it. So what is the root volume device name? /dev/sda1. Very good. For Ubuntu? /dev/xvda. Very good. Is it possible to detach the root volume while EC2 is running? No. What you need to do? Stop. Is it possible to detach the additional volume? Yes. Recommended? No. EC2 instance at availability zones? Yes. Volumes as availability zones? Yes. EC2 and volume should be inside the same availability zone or different? Same. 1A volume can be attached to 1B EC2 instance. 1B EC2 instance can be attached to 1A, but 1A volume can be attached to 1A EC2 instance? Possible. Right? EBS is regional or global? Regional. So one volume can be attached to multiple EC2 instances. If you need to have a shared storage, that we will be discussing in the next class. Fantastic. Okay, so take the screenshots. Oh, thank you, Nitin. take it, screenshot. That is why I said, guys, if you concentrate my class, it's more than enough. Okay? Okay, Nana? And next. Okay? Good. S3 is global, correct. Wonderful. Okay. Fantastic. Today's awesome class, sir. Every day class is awesome. And you are also awesome. I'm also awesome. Okay. Sir, please open one office in Canada. Oh, give me visa. I'll come. Ruhan, thank you. Okay. There is no class tomorrow. Sunday is fun day. Okay. No class on Sundays. Every time, no class. And then on Monday, we'll meet on Monday. Can you give me the final CC for today, please? CC with smile. Yes, you cannot. Afros. Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you on Monday with the next important topic. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and have a nice weekend too. See you on Monday, guys. Don't miss.